Okay, next we're going to look at the layers window and some different things that we can do with layers. This is a really important part of Photoshop. The layers window is right here, layers, and all of your layers will be found here. If you ever don't see it, you can always find it up here in window. Just choose layers. The first thing you may notice is that it says background. This is a background layer, and that's usually the default when you open up a scanned image. And there's some good things about that, such as basic image editing. It can be really useful to have a background layer because Photoshop takes care of a lot of things for you. So if I wanted to get rid of this, whatever that is in the background, I can just select it, press delete, and it gets rid of it really, really well. You can get rid of this cloud, delete. Hey, it looks really good. For us, we wanted to basically get rid of the background, try different color combinations, thicken lines. That's not really going to work for us with the background. That's not what we want. We want just a regular layer. So in order to do that, just right-click on a layer and select the layer from background. Press OK. Now it's just a regular layer that we can do what we want with. Just a few basic navigation tools or ideas about the layers window. You can create a new layer by choosing this button right here. You can get rid of a layer by selecting that layer and choosing the trash can icon. And just like how you might imagine layers would work in real life, we've got this rectangle in a layer above the image, so it looks like it's above it. So that's how the layers work. If we drag it below it, it now is below the image. So you can sort of tweak your image that way by adjusting the order of your layers and using that in a specific way. Also, just as a quick side note, 95% of the problems in Photoshop, if you're having an issue, it's almost always because the wrong layer is selected. So if you want to do something or change part of your image, make sure that you've selected the right layer. If something's going wrong, almost always the wrong layer is selected. Okay, so we've got our layer here. Let's quickly get rid of the background to try a few things. Okay, we've gotten rid of the background. Let's create a background layer. So I've made a new layer there. I'm going to choose a color. Let's just say blue. And we'll paint it. It's in grayscale. If that happens to you, you can change that just by going to Image, Mode. RGB is good. Don't merge. Okay, so we've got our blue. We want this to be a background layer, so we're going to drag this below it. There we go. Okay, so you can also toggle visibility. If you want to see what this looks like without the image, for example, there's this eyeball icon. We can just toggle back and forth to make a layer visible and invisible. You can also change the opacity, which is how transparent or opaque a layer is. So if we lower the opacity, we can make it more transparent. We can make it totally opaque, whatever you need to do. One other thing is you can change the blending mode. The blending mode is right here. The default is normal. We looked at two. We looked at normal and multiply. Multiply is basically the lighter pixels become transparent. So as you see, we deleted the white pixels, but there's also some light gray that we didn't quite get. We can just make those quite transparent if we just choose multiply. And now we can really get a sense of how this would look cleanly on a different color background. And then finally, a really good thing to know is how to lock the pixels. We did that as we were exploring different color choices. If we wanted to see what this would look like, say the lines were red or orange or something, we would lock the pixels right here. And then now anything we do to this layer will only happen to the pixels that are on it, not on any parts that are deleted. And so that's what this checkerboard pattern is. If you see the checkerboard, that means there's no pixels there. So anything we do now, since we've locked the pixels, will only happen to those pixels. You can see right there. There we go, yellow and blue. So that's a good overview of the layers window. Next, we'll look at the retransform tool.